We're going to start at Mark chapter 7:23. This will be part 10 of what the text is going to be telling us. And let's see if I can do this like this. I guess I wasn't that good this time. So anyways, 23. That didn't look familiar. Okay. Oops, we ended with 23. It's going to start with 24. So I need to make corrections on that. But here he went his way to the region of Tyre, 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 and I'm thinking that by crossing this out is that Jesus never left the promised land. It was prophesied he is to come to his people in this city, not a region. Let me point out where this is at. And you can see I've just did a search, biblical geographical. And what happens is you can see that here, you can see Tyre right down here and Sidon here. But you're not getting a very good look at it. If I go to here, you can see how the land of Israel goes up this way to the lake or to the river, and then or to the Jordan River. The Jordan River goes through here, or no, it comes up through here. Well, that's not very good. If I come to here, whoops, nope, it's not showing it neither. Here. Now we have the city here that they're going to talk about in the city here, and you can see the Jordan River comes up and goes over this way. Now, what I've been doing, and I've had to make a correction on my map itself. This map I've been showing, it's the promised land going all the way up to here, this river, because that's the way I was reading the text before. So that's out of our Creator's hidden formats. But when I did a search, I found that the city is right in through here, this Tyre city, Tyre. And what I did was I had to remake the map. So I've got maybe about 20 of them to re-edit now, and re-edit the our Creator's everlasting promises, that text there. So what it is we now know that it's that area, but during the time, if I do Lebanon, now let's see if I can find the true Lebanon. They don't show it here. And what's so important about Lebanon? Because when they were conquering the land, or the promised land, they stopped here. And why did they stop? Well, that's because Lebanon belongs to Shem. Shem's people were ran out, and they came up here and took over this area here, which is today known as Lebanon. So the thing here is when the promised land was given to them, and the promise was going to Shem's descendants. So they didn't need to take over Shem's descendants, but this would be the promised land area. And because the king at that time, Hiram, I think, or Hiram, or something, Solomon sent to him, no, he sent carpenters down to David to build David a house. So that's pretty much why you now have some background on that. They are descendants of Shem that were up there, and that's why they stopped. And that's why they would accept a gift from Shem's people. Now, I know if you go do a search on the Bible and go look for Tyre, it's mentioned as a people come from there. What was the other one? Well, the text itself right now is calling it a region, okay? And we know it isn't a region, it's a city. So it's actually a port city that our Creator destroyed at the time Babylon came down, I believe. So this can't be true. It's too far away. And then he entered the house and he wanted no one to know he could not escape or know of it yet. He could not escape notice. This, Jesus did not try to hide himself. So that's wrong. Now it comes to the text here where after hearing of him, a woman's little daughter had a demon, and she came and fell at his feet, okay? A woman whose little, I think I've got this correct, fell at his feet, and the woman was a Gentile, is what the text says. There's many explanations what a Gentile is. I want to show you here that you can see it means a Greek, or they use it as a Greek once and a Gentile once. This is not really true. I know that scholars would say that Gentiles were those that were Israeli mingled families with foreigners, where their sons married outside the Hebrews, and the women married outside the Hebrew descendants. So that's what it's got here, and then it says of whatever kind of race. And you just seen that it's a Greek word for a Gentile, or it's a Greek. So this is just, let's see what they've got for this word here. Yeah, this is again, it doesn't make any sense. It's being used once, come from one word. So this just has to be removed. And what I've done is I made her a foreigner because I can't decide whether she was a Roman or not. Because other people that were there would have heard about our Creator's teaching, because they were in the land now, and things like that, where it is true that other people are to learn that they have only one Creator who created the universe. And so I'm putting it as a foreigner, and I've got it highlighted as a foreigner, that word might need to be changed later. So the text here, yeah, I just want you to be able to screen capture or stop the video and see the text there. Because the conversation that she's got with Jesus here is going to give us another clue. He told her, and let the children be satisfied first. This here has no meaning to what the text is saying. Now, I know that people are going to try to give answers for that, and I can show only after knowing the story that this is could possibly be explained. It is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. Now, it is not good. Okay, he's defining a statement. And here it's the children's bread, meaning he came to his people from Israeli nation, which is our Creator's nation. And this would be saying, Jesus saying that he was only sent to the Israelis, where if the children be satisfied first, this would be, oh, it's not needed. Okay. It's just not needed. It's saying what this is saying in an odd way, but here it's being said correctly, and it's thrown to the dogs. Now, does Jesus consider all other races dogs? Well, they were pagans, but were they was a figure of speech to claim every other race was dogs? I think Jesus is trying to use a parable and not so much insinuate that they're dogs. And she answered, "Yes, my Lord." And these words right here saying that she believed in the promises from our Creator. And even the dogs feed on the children's fallen, not just crumbs, but it's fallen off the table. So Jesus would understand that, and this is what he's saying, is because of this, the demon has left your daughter. And it has or will could be used either word, but I'm leaving it as has. But that's why some of these words needed to be explained, because she even refers to dogs, but when she describes Jesus as my Lord, she's in full belief of our, as Jesus as King. So when it comes back up here to the word Gentile, do I leave it as the word Gentile and everybody is to understand that Gentiles are um, born from mixed races with the Hebrew people? Um, I'd rather call her a foreigner, okay? Because if I use the word Gentile, people that are, say, in other countries today, um, would consider having this likeness of this woman as being a foreigner, and now she believes, and she believes very strongly. So I don't want to put the word Gentile in there and then everybody having to think that it's races mixed with the Hebrew race for families, because it's hard to say that they would be following as descendants and give all kinds of explanations for that. But anyways, I'll move on. At home, she found her not going back, not going back on her way. At home, she found it wasn't a child. She said a daughter, so let's put a daughter back in there, calmly laying on her bed, and the demon had left her. He went out from the city Tyre. Well, this can't be true, okay? I was adding this word here, and this word here, like I said before, is out of bounds from where Jesus was at. So, how do I add that he went, or do I just then add the word then in front here. It would be good just to see. Uh, no, the word again. I was thinking the word then could be added, but as is the perfect change for this word here, but it's not. It's, and why I'm saying that. Let me pull it up. Um, let's see. See, when you think every word in the Bible is true, I'm going to point out the deception that they have done. And what this is the Bible program. So when I clicked on the word which, I got the Hebrew word here because we're in Genesis. And then all these words are used, and the number in brackets is how many times they use it. And you can see 1924 times. Now, you can see here in the light purple that those words could be acceptable, so that would make all these other one-of-a-kinds okay. Down here, this is going to be a problem because who I know that has their own definition. But example here, look at this word here, so. Now, the word so, whoops, the word so is also used over here in the text. And if we follow it over here to the word, this is the Hebrew word for the word so. And yet they've changed it 7 times to mean so. If this was actually the words, or in those 7 verses, they should be changing it to one of these stronger words, but they didn't. Now comes everything that's in the red. Now this one gets really strange. How could we could get this definition to get to anyone? The very possibility with the who or whatever here. But when it comes down to deadly, power, or powder, reason, steward, storehouses, that just doesn't make any sense. And I can guarantee you that I can go through here, and if I clicked on each one of these words over here, like how or something, I would get a different or Hebrew word than this word here. So this is the dirty truth about the Bible, that it has its own made up language. I mean, I literally tried to go back and try to use the exact words, and it's so butchered up that you can't do that. So how did they get to claim that these other words can come from it, like powder? Uh, and use so it's just incredible that we got any true text at all, or a semblance of text, that we have sentences made that over time you can tell that the structure has just been added to. Now, the one thing I do know is that the hidden formats that I've been pointing out in the other text in the Hebrew side, I don't find the hidden formats in the New Testament. It is in the Hebrew text side that you can prove that there's this format, a pattern by the writer, which would be the first writer's words. But here I can't show the first writer's words in any way. So I have him just going from out to Lake Gelly. And here it's the region for this city here. And like, well, because somebody tuned in new, they want to know. We're talking about this area here. Now, how did he get over here? And is it actually going over to here without going by boat? Right now we have stories of by boat only going to here. So here we have text that is to the Lake Galilee, to the region for this area here. So really, I should get rid of this and just put in the word Jordan here. Oops. I need to go up and find it because it's a one-of-a-kind word. I got it, I think, in small capitals. Yes, it's one way to, well, I guess that's not going to happen. I guess if I do this, I'm back to where I'm supposed to be. Okay. To the region. Go up here to find this. Here to go small caps and bold. To the region Jordan. Okay. And this might be, anyways. We're gonna have a story now of this. Yeah, I added that. Yeah. Okay. Build. Okay, got everything caught up. And then it's kind of let's see, spake with difficulty. Well, those are usually just grunt sounds. Um, so does it mean that he was stammering? I don't think so, because he was deaf. He wouldn't know that, but he might be able to learn how to make a sound to, and people like, wow, what'd you do? And he could repeat it, but he wouldn't learn how to speak. So it wouldn't be with difficulty, because he's never heard a word. So he would be grunt or grunts, and begged him to lay his hand on him. Okay, I don't think those were that difficult to change. And he didn't need to take him by himself or take him aside from the multitude. That's just not true. Jesus just did this healing before people so they could be the witnesses. And then I didn't have Jesus spitting uh, on his. After spitting on his, he placed his fingers on his ears. I didn't want Jesus using spit. He was able to do it with his touch of his hand, or even saying it, so he wouldn't be spitting on his hand. And then his to his ears, and then to his lips. And then he looked up to heaven, and this, he was not doing this at every time. This is the first time we have this text. He just said, be open. Whatever this word here is, I don't even care what it is, but let's see if I can. Yeah, see now that what they're saying. Okay, here, notice how they're using, uh, it's ARA, And I don't know if that's an abbreviation for, like, it would have been like Aramaic or something like that or whatever, but um, this is just, see, they have to put this in. I think this is a completely made up word, but it's gone now. It just says be open. Jesus said be open. When people say Jesus spake in Aramaic, it's not true. You don't, when you're sent to the poor of Israel, not everyone is bilingual. He was speaking to them in their language. Other than that, you have to have interpreters with him about everything that's being said. So, just false. If by reasoning, it's just false. And yet, I've seen so many people on the internet. Yes, he spoke in Aramaic, and I says, okay, how did the poor that he went to they're all bilingual? And why do you see the comments I get? And it's just ridiculous how they make stuff up. Like, yeah, they learned the Roman language too. I says, the poor? Anyways, spake clearly. Okay. And here again, he's saying, giving orders to tell them, um, not to tell anybody, not to tell anybody here. That's just stupid. Not to tell anybody. That's just stupid. So got rid of a lot of words, but saying the same thing here better. I think these are all easy to understand, and I just put the word clearly here, and speaks clearly. Yeah, I need an S here. Speak clearly to heal the deaf to hear and speak clearly. Okay. Proud to for multiple. I've went over that a few times. Okay, these are all easy to see the changes here. And here again, I think this is going to be, yeah, he's going to feed a gathering of people again here. But to sit there and say for now 3 days they have been with him and not eating, that's not true. Jesus ate every day. So the thing here is why are they saying 3 days? It's just as not true. Okay. But they might have not eaten. They came out to him and had not eaten. So that means, it's past lunchtime and getting in the evening. They're still there and they still want to listen to Jesus speak. So, um, let's see, he called his disciples to him and said to them, crowd has been with me today and they have not eaten. If I send them away, some will faint and others are just kind of, this is not needed as wording. Replied, who are able to satisfy these people with bread. Jesus asked, how many breads and fish do we have? And they answered, 7 breads and a few fish. I've had to add these words here because later down here, and okay, he's only feeding them bread here. That's what it's saying. But they had bread and fish in their bag, so I'm adding the text for sure that breads and a few fish. So I added it here as well. I told you the difference. between ground being underneath and the word land is the surface. So they would say sit on the land. And he's taken the breads and a few fish in a basket. And he asked Wifey for a blessing, which he does this way. He didn't, he gave his thanks. What does that mean? How does that communicate with our Creator to ask for this blessing to make whatever they have enough for everybody? So the thing here is I needed to have the text say he asked for Wifey's blessing. He didn't give thanks. Let me check to see about the word thanks. Yeah, they did pretty good with the word thanks, but anyway, it didn't have the word blessing. Thanks could be a blessing on the Hebrew side. I'm telling you, just random words thrown together after a Hebrew word is said or written. So I've added the words he asked for Wifey's blessing. Then he broke them and gave them to the disciples in a basket. I'm adding the word basket. To serve to them, to serve to the crowd. They also had a small fish. Okay, here's where they have fish. And he asked, after he had blessed, see, he's got to get asked from our Creator, but here the word bless was used. I've just used it up here. I've added the fish up here. So you wouldn't have done it twice. You would have done it once at one time. Now he has done it one time. Here it's saying he's done it 2 different times. It's almost like they added extra text here later. Well, after they were ate, the disciples gathered up the broken pieces. Here it's going to say 7 large baskets. Oh, well, they had baskets to begin with. We didn't give them a size. But just if they picked up the leftover pieces. Now, why would they do that? Well, that's because if you leave not bread, but the fish out, animals will come into the area that might be harmful, I guess, because I think the lions are gone from there, but there might be bear around there, so they're trying to wherever they were eating, he didn't want animals to come there that would come there by the smell from all the food. So usually what you do is, the way it was, is they would build a compost pile. And that's by having a mound of dirt here, and then you put down your garbage, and then you take the dirt to cover up the food that you did not eat. And a lot of times you still need a larger fence to go around that area so animals can't get in there. But I know that when I lived up north with my grandfolks, yes, my job was to go bury the garbage, and what we used to do is put like a wire fence over top. But every once in a while, a neighbor wouldn't do it correctly, and you'd get a knock on the door, and the alarm would be the bears are out because somebody left the garbage out there, and they're now rummaging around all over. So keep an eye on the bears coming around. So, but they had to have other animals around at that time that were wild that they didn't want around. And this is just for your knowledge to know what happens with in their day when how they buried their garbage and why they buried it. They just didn't throw it out into the road. And then they have 4,000 people, and I've told you before that I put on potlucks at work, and if you got 4,000 people, that's way too many people. But the object is it has to be hundreds of people, not thousands. If from so I got rid of the 4,000 people, and then left it up to us or the reader to figure out how many for right now. And then he sent them away. Okay. Okay, it's at 35 minutes. I did talk a little bit too much. Didn't get through a lot. Oh boy, here we're going to come into this city here, but I'm going to wait because I don't want to get started and then run way over 40 minutes. So I guess I'll be on the next video here pretty soon.